It is always great catching up with my next guest. Bryce Mitchell is going to be back in action taking on Jonathan Pearce, UFC 288, May 6th. Bryce, how's it going, man?
Been going great, brother. I'm just chilling like a villain. I'm just glad to be here, brother. Thank you for having me.
Hey, pleasure is all mine, man. I saw you were in California last week. I saw the video on Instagram and all that. I believe you were down there training with Eddie Bravo. What brought you down to California?
I just wanted to learn from Eddie Bravo himself. You know, I've always watched him on YouTube videos, and it's a lot different when you go in there to his gym and he shows you everything. I mean, he pretty much gave me a seminar for free. Eddie Bravo did.
That's great. What was the connection there to you and Eddie? How did you link up with him?
Well, I messaged him on, I gave him a call. That's what it was. I got his number a couple of years back. You know, I maybe hollered at him a couple times since then. We had done a podcast, but we had never trained, and that was really always my goal, is to legitimately train with him. And so that we just started talking. I called him just to catch up and say, you know, hey, how are you doing? And it turned into a, hey, well, I'm teaching Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Come down to LA. And I said, heck, now's the time, you know. So I went down there and learned from one of the greatest teachers ever.
That's great, man. Did you guys swap any, you know, he's got some theories out there. I know you got some as well. Did you talk any politics or anything, or was it just MMA talk? That's it.
Oh, bro, you know him. It's mostly talks of world events. You know what I mean? We both believe that this rigged World War III is coming. You know, this is stuff that's out of our control. Me and Eddie, we've done long since agreed on the New World Order. They worship Satan. They seek to enslave us. They seek to kill us through the money that they control and print. You know, the Federal Reserve is crooked. The whole thing's going to come tumbling down, brother. It's all going to collapse. But my answer to all of this is, well, the real answer is God. If you believe in God, your soul's protected. If you worship God, your soul's protected. And then for anybody listening out there too, you don't get to heaven by being a good person. You don't. In my belief system, you go to heaven from worshiping and accepting Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. If you do that, you don't have to worry about nothing. But aside from World War III starting and all of that stuff and the world going, you know, just to crap, I think the answer is farming. And I think Eddie would probably agree at least partially with that. But, brother, we could fix this world with farming. And if we got more people interested in farming and a higher percentage of our population farmed, we'd be a much better off society. Yeah, we might not have as much service jobs like people who work on the computer all day. And that is a luxury to live in a country where you have the option to work on a computer. But I'm telling you, when this economy gets bad, when our currency gets realized for what it is, it's just worthless paper. Okay? When all of that gets realized, you're gonna understand how correct I am.
Well, yeah, listen, you're preaching. I was just actually going to mention, even before you brought up farming, I think the system is rigged to a certain degree, with the sense that look how cheap it is to buy really bad food. That's really not good for you. That I think is part of a lot of health problems. I mean, we could do a whole podcast on this, but like me personally, I've been very conscious this last year and a bit of what I'm putting in my body. And that's why, you know, I prefer the grass-fed beef and prefer the, you know, farming, the natural stuff, as opposed to all this processed food is like one of the biggest killers in this country. So you and I are on the same page there 100%.
Yeah, and just to expand on that a little bit, because that's what I was really getting into, James, is why we need healthy food. We need why we need to produce our own healthy food. And as much of our food as we possibly can produce, we need to, okay? Yeah. Because it goes into control. If they control your food, they control you, you know? Yeah. And we're talking about processed foods, right? And we're talking about some ingredients in these foods that if you ate a handful of them, you would die. But they sprinkle it in your food, okay? And the FDA approves it. Now, if you want to know why steaks are so expensive at the store, but every cattle farmer in Arkansas that I know of is poor.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
Why? How come a steak is $30 at Walmart, but every cattle farmer I know complains about how they don't make no money off of their cows? Because the FDA, the government, okay, let me tell you how it works. I'm not allowed to chop my cow up and put it straight into Walmart without any preservatives, steroids, antibiotics, when you sell your soul to Walmart and you start selling your product in Walmart, it's got the antibiotics, the steroids, all bullshit that the FDA says is safe. Well, guess what's really safer? Go find you an Amish guy who has his own cows. He cuts his cows up every winter. When it's cold outside, they'll butcher them. And guess what? No preservatives, no steroids. It's cheaper than what you pay at Walmart, and it's actually safer. And I'm just telling you, brother, the reason that it's unaffordable to eat healthy is because of our government. They subsidize this genetically modified food, and then they tax and restrict actual healthy food, like raw eggs. They'll tell you not to eat raw eggs. Brother, I've been eating raw eggs a couple years now. I've never got salmonella. If you clean the egg and the egg is temperature controlled, you ain't going to get salmonella, brother. You know, all the stuff that we grew up hearing, you know, I just had raw liver for breakfast. They would have told me 10 years ago, I'm crazy, I'm going to get salmonella.
Liver's great for you. If you look up what liver does, the nutrients, you know, heart, all organs, all that stuff, there's a lot of benefits. And you're right, it's not very mainstream to say that. It's more about the process stuff. But we could talk for hours, man. But I know people are going to want to hear about you fighting. You are from Arkansas. He's from Tennessee. Does this add a bit more, the two of you fighting each other? I'm sure you're familiar with him.
Yeah, I don't want a Tennessee guy to beat me. He's like right there. I mean, he's just right next door. So I got to get the win, brother.
Before we talk about this matchup, just quickly, I know your last fight didn't go the way you wanted. It's never fun to talk about a loss, but what did you learn the most from that fight that you're bringing into this one?
Just a lot of anger, a lot of resentment, a lot of hatred, a lot of guilt, a lot of just desire to get in there and just fuck shit up, man, because I'm really just mad at life right now.
Right. But I know you had also mentioned, like, you kind of feel like you needed to take the fight as well. You know, you wanted to be a good company man and all that. You know, looking back after what happened, do you maybe think it might have not been good to take that fight just with everything that was going on? Because you talked about having some personal stuff going into that fight.
Yeah, I was just really sick. I shouldn't have took the fight, no, but I mean, I can't do anything about it. And, you know, it just pisses me off. The whole thing does. So, if anything, it just pissed me off to a whole new level. You can't really get to that level of the level of anger I'm at. You can't get without getting your ass beat. You get your ass beat, you get to a whole new level of anger, a whole new level of pissed off, a whole new level of motivation. You can't get to that. You know, they say the sports has highs and lows. Have you ever heard people say that?
Yeah.
Well, the lows, bro, it's very low, and you can't get that low. Just in everyday life, it's hard to get that low. If you get your ass beat one time, you'll be so mad, bro.
Yeah. No, I get it.
It'll change your life for the months to come.
And just one other thing on that fight. I know there was all the stuff going on with James Krause as well, sort of leading into it. Did that impact you at all? Just not having, because you're supposed to be in your corner, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, he's going to be in the corner, and I enjoy training with him, but that was out of my control as well.
Yeah. But it was also another factor, that's something you probably weren't expecting when you went into the fight, right?
Right. But, you know, I think that James is probably, you know, honestly, whatever he did, I don't care. I don't really judge him. But I think they're using him as a scapegoat. I think that what they're getting away with rigging all these fucking fights, man, it pales in comparison to what fucking Krause did. They're using Krause as a scapegoat. They say, oh, yeah, look, we got the cheater, the guy who rigs fights. Yeah, bull fucking shit. The guys rigging the fucking fights are the judges, man. Get the fuck out of here. He's a scapegoat. They ain't fixed nothing, man. But, yeah, I guess they slapped him on the wrist. But, yeah, like I said, dude, it's so much corruption in the shit, man. They're just using him as an example. I'm telling you, that's all there is. There's far more corruption than what he did. And I still love James, man. He's cool.
You mentioned the lows of the lows. I know after the fight, you talked about maybe retiring from the sport. Was that just heat of the moment, or were you actually considering retiring?
Well, I was really mad, so I didn't really want to do it again. But then I started thinking how that one really don't even count. And I understand it counts on my record, but when I look back at it, I just can't really count that as a win or a loss. It doesn't even count as me going in there. You know, I didn't rehydrate properly. I was on Tamiflu. It's a medication that you have to eat with. and I was cutting weight on a medication that they tell you to eat with, so I was throwing up from that, and I didn't rehydrate. So really, dude, I didn't even go into the fucking fight being me, and so
Mhm.
that's why I'm saying I don't count it. But hey, not to say my opponent's very good, but I'm just telling you, a fifth grader could have whooped my ass that night. So it is what it is, man. He
Mhm.
got him a good win, and he can enjoy it. And if we meet again, it will not be that easy for him.
Jonathan Pearce, we know he's got a good ground game. He's got a 14-4 record. Stylistically, how do you look at this fight with you and Jonathan?
I look at it as me winning.
Okay. Simple as that? Then nothing else? Yeah.
It's that simple.
Okay. Camp back home. I know you're still working with your coach, Rolly. You've got TJ Brown. Who else are you having a chance to work with as far as training partners this camp?
Just really, there's so many people at Westside and Cersei, man. I've got a little mini gym here at my place, so I have people come over, pro fighters come over all the time, and I've got as many training partners as I need. Luis Pena moved back to town.
Oh, cool. So you're
Yeah,
working with him?
absolutely. He's been a tremendous training partner this camp. I would say he's been the biggest asset to me, Luis Pena.
Yeah, he's got a fight coming up for XMMA, I saw.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
April.
Okay. So that's great. And how are you feeling this time around? I mean, doesn't sound like we still have some time before the fight, obviously, but it seems like everything's A-okay, plenty of time to cut weight, full camp. I mean, this is more of an ideal situation for you, right?
Right. Yeah, everything's going pretty normal right now. I'm in great shape. Don't have the flu, so, and brother, if I get the flu again, I'll know, just don't fight. If it
Mhm.
was as bad as it was last time, I know, don't ever do that again. But I just thought that I'd be able to recover, but clearly you can't. So, if I get hurt this fight, I'll pull out of the fight. I won't fight hurt no more.
Yeah. No, I get it. What about any other cross training this camp, or is it going to be all back home basically?
Did some at Eddie Bravo's. There's another coach that's going to come in and help me just train, just some striking stuff, but just kind of same stuff, just ramping it up, just trying to get a little bit stronger too. That was another emphasis is going because I went into my last fight so weak, uh, so just from losing all of it from having that sickness, that now I'm going into this fight extra strong. I've been lifting a lot of weights and stuff like that.
Had you lifted weights before? I just figure a guy on the farm probably doesn't need to because you're lifting as much as it is, right?
Well, I have, but I've really stepped it up this fight, so I'll be a lot stronger.
Okay. Good, man. You said you're going to win. How do you see yourself winning on May 6th? How do you see this one going down?
Man, it's hard to say. It's really kind of just whatever he feels like giving me, because you can't really force anything because you just take whatever they leave open.
Okay, I
So
like it.
it's really up to him.
How many more times do you want to fight this year? I know you kind of like fighting 3 times a year, right?
Shoot, I would love to. It just depends on my health, I'd be lucky to even have this one fight and not get hurt. So, we'll just see how this fight goes.
Okay. We haven't spoken since Islam Makhachev defeated your champion of your division, Alex Volkanovski. What did you think of that fight, and how'd you score it?
Oh, that fight was rigged as fuck, dude. But, he brings in all that money from the Middle East. When you're bringing in that kind of oil money and all that Middle Eastern money, bro, like all the richest people in the world, bro, they're all from the Middle East. I guess they just fucking paid the judges to I don't know. But
So you thought Volkanovski won a decision?
I know Alexander Volkanovski won a decision. I don't think nothing. I know he won, and I know that shit was rigged. And I'm not fucking stupid. You can't tell me that shit wasn't rigged. I'm not buying it. You can pay them judges whatever the fuck you want to pay them. I know Alexander Volkanovski won that fight.
And it looks like Volkanovski's going to fight Yair Rodriguez next for the, obviously, Rodriguez won the interim title. Do you see Volkanovski defeating him, or do you think Yair can get it done?
I do think that Volk, he fights a little bit just smarter. I don't think he's as athletic and as fast and hits as hard and fast, but I think he fights very smart, and he might get Yair tired, a little bit more tired in the later rounds, and I think that's how Volk could win that fight. But that's a great fight, and now I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, no, we are as well. Have you seen this Power Slap League that Dana White's running? Have you seen it? What do you think of that?
It's just a waste of time, man. I mean, shoot, that's crazy.
Would you ever do it or no?
I mean, they'd have to pay me like fucking McGregor money to go do that shit, dude. But yeah, if you pay me like $10 million, yeah, I'll fucking go slap happy, man.
Love it. And before we get you out of here, what else you up to? I know you're working on the farm. You got all your animals. You doing any hunting? Like, what have you been doing outside of training these days?
Shoot, just same old, brother. Building a house. It's a little 1,600 square foot house. So I put up all the rooms, framed it myself. It's got a second story. So framing a house, building a chicken coop. It rained today, so I couldn't work on the coop. I got rentals on the side. I'm always working on rentals. I replaced the whole main line in 3 rental properties. I mean, we're talking about the nastiest of the nasty work, going underneath the house, cutting out the pipes clogged with shit and replacing them, so
Good for you, man. That's good. Blue collar work, man, and we need to see more of it these days. It's essential to our society, and I'm glad to see you're taking part. And is that something you see yourself doing after fighting? Is renovating houses or being involved in that, or do you look at coaching? What do you see yourself doing? You got a long career left, Bryce, but I'm just curious what you're thinking of after fighting.
maybe a little bit of both, like rentals and coaching, but definitely going to continue the rentals. Because I like having something completely separate from fighting, that
Yeah.
has just nothing to do with it. For me, it's cool to go from fighting to something completely different. But I think that once I'm done fighting, I will have the urge to coach because I won't be able to compete, and
Yeah.
I love to open a little gym one day. But dude, I'm gonna just do plumbing and all this rental stuff as long as I can. Carpentry, painting, I'm always doing some type of carpentry, painting or plumbing or something at a rental house.
Yeah. And the main thing is you're staying away from your phone, man. I think technology these days, it's consuming us too much. I love how you're always out doing stuff, which is great.
Well, I'm trying to build up skills, brother, for the end of the world, for when the phones don't work.
Yeah.
How to fix the tractor, how to change out, the fuel pumps, how to change out all this stuff on a tractor that needs to be maintained. All these stuffs on homes that need to be maintained. These are skills that when you start doing one thing at a time, you build up these skills. And 10 years ago, dude, I couldn't have done anything that I do today. And I'm still not no mechanic. I still have to call a real mechanic when I need one, but I've learned a lot and I can diagnose problems a lot better than I used to be able to. I'm building up my confidence, and that's with anything you do, brother.
It's great. Bryce, I'm looking forward to it. UFC 288, May 6th. Maybe we'll link up again closer to fight time to see how camp went and all that, but always appreciate you taking the time. And man, if there's anyone you'd like to thank, any sponsors, any social media you want to plug, I'll give you the last word.
Man, thank you so much, Mr. James. I'd love to do another one, maybe even fight week. We'll do one. I'll be in the hotel. We can
Perfect.
do
I'm
another
down.
one. I want to thank new sponsor of mine's Marble Meat. Marble Meat, they get their beef from Montana. I've been eating beef liver, beef heart almost every day. So, like my actual strength I'm gonna be a lot stronger in this fight. I've been eating good quality marbled meat. Real Tree, they've always took care of me. Y'all know I fight in Real Tree shorts. I mean, there ain't nobody in the UFC that has better shorts than me. And I'm not trying to brag. I'm just telling you a fact. And I hope these other guys ain't mad at me or jealous or whatever, because I was the only one who wanted different colored shorts there for a long time. Now that I got camo shorts, everybody wants them. But I want to thank Realtree for putting their face on my camo shorts. Dude, there's my bookie, dude. I work for them, so my bookie has helped me out tremendously. Man, there's just so many good sponsors that have took care of me. And I mean, I literally, how I give back every fight now, right? How I give back to charity. Well, there's not really fighters doing it like I'm doing it. And let me tell you what, if you appreciate how I give back to charity, give back to children, give back to distraught families after my fight. I mean, dude, I've given half of my fight purse one time. I give away to children with medical needs. I mean, I'm telling you, I'm doing stuff that's incredible. And if you want to thank me for doing that, you have to thank my sponsors. Because without Realtree, without Marble Meat, without my bookie, Without all these sponsors, dude, I've got so many of them. You go to my Instagram and you'll see all my sponsors. But without my Bigly, that's another one. Bigly, they help me run a website where I sell products on my website. But Bigly runs the website. Without these sponsors, bro, I can't give back to my community because I wouldn't have the money to do it. And so all these sponsors are the reason that I can give back to my community. And man, I just owe them everything. And thank you for having me. And God bless you, brother. We'll do another one.